imagine you're on a marketing team, maybe feeling the pressure, right, to deliver these incredibly personalized experiences to every single potential customer. You're pouring in resources, but it feels like you're either going overboard where it doesn't really move the needle or maybe falling short where it truly counts. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. It's a predicament many organizations face.
Yeah.
That drive for personalization is strong, definitely. But without a clear strategy, well, it can lead to wasted effort or, missed opportunities.
That's precisely the challenge we're diving into today. It's something called personalization layering within account-based marketing, or ABM.
Right.
What we're really exploring here is a strategic framework for deciding when and, crucially, how much to personalize your outreach.
Yeah. It's about intelligently adjusting the depth of your engagement based on clear signals. Things like, well, genuine engagement from an account, maybe fresh insights you've gathered.
Perfect timing, key triggers, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that it fundamentally shifts our thinking, away from that static, one-size-fits-all approach to personalization.
Right.
Instead, it emphasizes dynamic judgment, being incredibly smart and efficient with those valuable resources.
Being smart with your resources, I think that's the core takeaway for so many marketers feeling that pressure. So to really illustrate that strategic judgment, let's unpack this. There's a great analogy in our sources. Think about American football.
Okay.
Every team has a playbook, right? Filled with plays. Each play, maybe a simple run or a complex passing sequence, is meticulously documented, tested, refined.
Makes sense. Planned out.
Exactly. ABM plays are quite similar. They're these strategic sequences crafted to advance progress with a target account, maintain control of the narrative, and ultimately, set up those scoring opportunities.
Right.
So this deep dive, specifically on personalization layering, it's all about understanding how these ABM plays evolve, helping you effectively shift from that broad one-to-many approach.
Yeah, the wide net.
To a more focused one-to-few or even one-to-one engagement.
So if you're listening, our mission today really is to give you a shortcut to understanding how to scale personalized engagement without wasting those precious resources.
Yeah.
It's about evolving your ABM programs based on, real-world signals and consistently delivering the right message at the right depth and, crucially, at the right moment.
As I was diving into these sources, there was a real aha moment for me about personalization. It's this idea that it's not static, it's not all or nothing. What was the kind of breakthrough understanding from the material that really jumped out at you?
I think the breakthrough is realizing that hyper-personalization for everyone all the time, it's just unsustainable.
Right.
And often, honestly, unnecessary.
Yeah.
The true art, the real skill, is knowing exactly when to invest those resources to build genuine resonance and make a true impact.
So it's an informed judgment call.
Precisely. Not a blanket application.
Okay, so that brings us right to the core question, and it's one I hear constantly from listeners. How personalized is personalized enough? What's the sort of fundamental principle guiding that decision?
Well, the principle is actually quite clear, quite logical.
Yeah.
The higher the potential reward from an account,
Okay.
the greater the degree of personalization, time, and resource you should strategically apply.
Yeah.
It's a direct correlation, really.
Which naturally leads us to this idea of a spectrum of engagement, almost like different offensive formations in our ABM playbook analogy.
Yeah, I like that.
At one end, you have one-to-many. Think of this as your broad awareness-building plays, typically at the cluster level for a wider audience.
Right, building that initial visibility.
Right.
And then as accounts within that cluster start to show some real engagement signaling, they're maybe ready for a more targeted approach, you shift.
Towards one-to-few.
Exactly, one-to-few. This involves deeper personalization, specifically for building relationships and deepening engagement with an individual account and its decision-making unit, the DMU.
Then, for your absolute highest value accounts, or maybe those showing significant progression.
One's really leaning in.
Yeah. You advance to one-to-one. This is the most resource-intensive, no doubt, but for a very clear reason. The potential payoff is significant enough to warrant that bespoke, tailored effort.
So we've got these different plays in the ABM playbook, from the broad sweep to the highly targeted individual run.
Right.
And just like in football, knowing which play to call depends entirely on, where you are in the field and what the defense, the market, the account is doing.
Which brings us to defining success.
Yeah.
Because the effectiveness of this personalization layering, it really hinges on having clear campaign objectives, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
clear objectives, and a really robust understanding of what qualifies an account for that deeper messaging. Or, just as importantly, what disqualifies it. You need to know when to pull back, too.
Right. Let's try and bring this to life with a few practical scenarios. Imagine your objective is, say, closing 5 significant deals in the next 6 months. You've got 100 target accounts. 50 are showing some initial engagement, maybe clicking ads, visiting the site. But 20 are much further along. They're deep in their buying journey.
Right. Clear distinction.
So in this case, you'd maintain that always-on, one-to-many cluster messaging for the broader 50, keep them warm.
Mm-hmm.
But you dedicate your deeper one-to-few or maybe even one-to-one personalization efforts specifically to those 20 advanced accounts. You're prioritizing that high-impact investment.
Makes perfect sense. Or let's consider a different objective. Maybe you simply need to nurture cold accounts, get them into an awareness state.
Okay.
Your focus there should really remain on broader reputation building and awareness campaigns. Trying deep, one-to-one personalization there would likely be, well, premature and pretty inefficient. You haven't earned that right yet.
Yeah, good point. And what if there's a big market shift? The material highlights an example. Like, say you're shifting your primary focus from mid-market vendors to enterprise clients.
Okay, a strategic pivot.
Exactly. You'd first identify which enterprise target accounts are already engaged and might be ready for that deeper enterprise-specific personalization.
Capitalize on existing momentum.
Right. And then for the relevant enterprise accounts that aren't engaged yet, you'd strategically build that always-on awareness level messaging. It's all about being incredibly strategic, almost surgical with your resources.
So the overarching principle then, it seems crystal clear. Define your precise objectives first. Then carefully select accounts that align with those objectives. And then prioritize deeper personalization on the best aligned accounts while using that wider, more general personalization for the less engaged ones.
Okay, so how do you know when? When is an account actually ready to shift from that broad one-to-many play to a more focused one-to-few program? What are the key triggers you should be looking for?
Well, our sources highlight some common ones. Things like a key decision maker change within the account that's huge. Significant spikes in engagement with your content. Maybe public budget announcements or even legislative shifts impacting their specific industry.
Interesting.
And crucially, direct feedback from your sales team. That's often invaluable as a trigger. They're on the front lines.
Absolutely. And just as important, you mentioned, are the disqualifiers. You need to avoid wasting resources on accounts showing red flags. Things like recent layoffs, budget freezes,
Big ones.
or key stakeholder exits. So it's also about knowing when to strategically pull back, right? I've definitely seen teams just keep pushing when an account was basically waving a giant NO flag. It's like trying to sell snow shovels in July.
Exactly.
What's the most obvious red flag you've seen overlooked that really burned resources?
Oh, I've seen teams continue to pursue an account hard after a major internal reorganization. They completely missed the signal that their initial champion, or maybe the entire buying committee they'd mapped, might no longer be in place, or that the company's budget priorities have completely shifted because of the reorg. It's like continuing to throw Hail Mary passes when the game is clearly already over.
That's a powerful point. So what does this all mean for measuring success? Because it's not just about the immediate revenue, is it? ABM personalization, when you do it well, it supports a much broader set of KPIs.
That's absolutely right. Beyond just pipeline progression and closed revenue, which are obviously important, you're looking at engagement. Engagement from key cluster, account, or DMU targets.
So like website visits, ad clicks.
Exactly. Granular data like website visits, ad clicks, time spent on specific content pages. Then there are relationship indicators, things like sales meetings secured, or maybe event attendance from your target personas.
Okay.
You also want to track softer metrics like reputation lift. You can measure that through brand recall surveys or even just anecdotal feedback from the market. These all contribute to the holistic picture of success.
Okay, let's get into the actual how. How do you execute meaningful personalization? Because, it can't just be a glorified mail merge. The sources really emphasize this. Hi, name. I see you have challenges with exit company. That is not meaningful personalization.
Oh, definitely not. It requires developing a truly deep understanding your account's specific needs, their unique challenges, and their evolving priorities.
Right.
Then it's about translating that knowledge into genuinely relevant content and engagement strategies that actually resonate. that feel like you get them.
So the North Star for your ABM program, according to the material, is your ABM value proposition, or VP. This isn't just some generic pitch, right?
No, not at all.
I got
It
it.
details your key cluster or account-level messaging themes. It explicitly acknowledges your target's specific challenges and explains why us, within their unique business context.
And you can even use something like a personalization matrix to prioritize these themes against specific roles within the DMU.
Absolutely. Think of it like a grid. You map specific challenges or value propositions against the key decision-maker roles in an account: CFO, head of sales, CPO, whatever it is.
Okay.
This lets you tailor your content with pinpoint accuracy. So the CFO sees the ROI data they care about, while maybe the head of sales sees the impact on team productivity or sales velocity.
So every message feels relevant to that specific person.
Exactly. Hyper-relevant to the recipient from every angle.
And from there, you can really scale your personalization in execution, moving through those levels we talked about. So at the market or cluster level, that's your one-to-many play.
Right. The broad approach.
You promote that VP-led messaging to groups with similar characteristics, same industry, common pain point, maybe even targeting users of a competitor's product.
And then you diligently measure engagement from that group.
To see who's warming up.
Precisely. To identify which accounts are showing interest and justify moving them into deeper account-level personalization.
Okay, so moving to the account level, that's more one-to-few. Here, you're applying those insights as a filter, using an account-specific lens.
Yeah, the focus narrows. Your content here explains not just what you offer, but precisely why now is the right time for their unique business to prioritize the issue you're presenting. It's about context, not just content. Much more specific.
Then at the DMU level, this might require one-to-few or even one-to-one resources. You're leveraging those engagement metrics to understand who specifically in the decision-making unit is engaged.
Right. Who's actually interacting.
And then you customize content for those major decision makers or maybe specific teams, focusing really keenly on their individual challenges and what they personally care about.
And finally, the stakeholder level. This is the highest resource dedication, purely one-to-one.
Top tier.
Reserved for your highest value accounts or those truly advanced in the buying journey. Here you're doing deep, almost forensic stakeholder analysis, their individual needs, preferred channels, specific behaviors.
Really digging in.
Oh yeah. And crafting a uniquely tailored ABM value proposition that speaks to the deep specificity required at this level. It's like designing a custom play for a very specific situation right at the goal line.
What seems truly critical here, though, is that personalization isn't just about the content itself. It impacts your entire approach.
Yeah.
The content, yes, but also the orchestration of channels, the precise timing.
Exactly.
You need to consider how the account experiences the wider journey, from that first touch right through to final conversion.
That's such a crucial point. When you shift to one-to-few, remember that account has likely already experienced your one-to-many activities.
Right, they've seen your ads, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
So it's not just about different content. Often it needs to be different channels and formats entirely. You want the journey to feel progressive and intentional.
So if one-to-many was broad display ads,
Your one-to-few might involve hyper-targeted email sequences, maybe personalized video messages, or even high-impact direct mail. You're building on their previous engagement, right?
yeah.
Making the creative not just distinct, but really customized to their evolving needs and where they are in their buying process. You're deepening the experience, not just, repurposing old stuff.
And on the topic of orchestration, our sources also advise allowing some breathing space. Don't just overload accounts.
Yeah, don't spam them.
For instance, resist the urge to send outbound emails the very same day your display ads go live. Give the messages time to sink in, to resonate.
Let it breathe. And of course, keep monitoring those personalization triggers closely, like a change in decision maker or a new budget announcement. Be ready to adapt.
But all of this careful layering and orchestration, however, it means absolutely nothing without one critical component.
Let me guess. Sales and marketing alignment.
You hit it, the absolute linchpin. The sources are incredibly clear on this. A lack of alignment or even just a misunderstanding of roles.
Oh, it kills momentum.
It kills ABM personalization momentum faster than anything else. But how do you actually achieve that kind of seamless integration? It sounds great in theory.
It requires a structured rhythm. It won't happen by accident. The material suggests things like weekly, maybe 30-minute stand-ups between sales and marketing teams.
Just to touch base.
Yeah, but focused. to identify immediate opportunities, define outreach responsibilities for the week ahead, then maybe complement that with monthly campaign reviews for the wider picture,
Okay.
and quarterly strategic planning sessions for the high-level objective setting and adjustments.
And crucially, these aren't just informal chats, are they? They need specific agendas.
Absolutely. Clarity on what's changing, who's responsible for what action, and what needs to be done when. Josh Wheel from Strategic ABM really drives this home with a powerful example.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
He said basically, ideally, in your weekly sales and marketing alignment meeting, marketing goes into the CRM and their ad platforms and says, okay, we're seeing increased engagement from these 20 accounts. Sales team, next week, can you go and do cold outbound into those accounts with this specific messaging? Because they're warming up. He says, that's what makes or breaks a personalized ABM campaign. Everything needs to feel cohesive.
That really paints a clear picture of what align actually looks like in practice. Not just talking, but acting together based on data.
It truly does. It's about real-time collaboration that empowers both teams to act in perfect unison.
Okay, so we've talked about the what and the how. Now let's talk about the did it work? What does success look like here, and how do you optimize these layered personalization efforts?
Well, the sources emphasize this principle of reciprocal value. As your personalization increases and gets smarter.
Engagement should increase too.
Exactly. And vice versa. It should be a positive feedback loop.
Okay.
Key markers of success include, well, consistently increased engagement from your target personas across all your channels. Also hearing from sales that their outreach is being met with genuine familiarity.
Like the prospect saying, oh yeah, I've seen your ads, or I read that white paper.
Precisely that.
Yeah.
And of course, tangible pipeline progression or a clear lift in brand perception within your target accounts.
There's a really compelling real-world success story in the material. Bluebotics.
Ah, yes. Good one.
They expertly used a phased ABM strategy, started with a one-to-many program targeting 400 named accounts, broad awareness, and from that pool, they identified 12 high-fit accounts.
The cream of the crop.
Exactly, and promoted them into a one-to-few program for deeper engagement and conversion.
And the results really speak volumes about the power of this layered approach, don't they?
They really do. That one-to-few program alone saw 100% account engagement.
Wow, 100%. That's impressive.
Which led to 15 meaningful conversations and ultimately 2 brand new clients just from that small, focused group.
Fantastic.
And combined, both programs generated over $4.5 million in opportunities and over $1 million in closed revenue. It truly showcases how strategic layering can drive significant business outcomes.
Absolutely. Great example.
Now, for optimization tips, the material offers a slightly counterintuitive piece of advice. Review early, optimize late. What does that actually mean in practice?
It means you should monitor results immediately, keep an eye on the data coming in, but resist the urge to react too soon. Don't make drastic pivots after just a week before you have truly meaningful data to act upon.
So don't panic if you don't see results on day 2.
Exactly. Josh Wheel illustrates this perfectly again. He says, imagine you've worked hard to personalize 3 or 4 content pieces, built a nice journey.
Yeah.
But after only 1 week, you throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, this isn't working.
Right.
His point is, well, what was the point of putting all that effort in the first place? Patience and data-driven decisions are absolutely key here.
That's such a crucial reminder. It takes time to gather enough data to make properly informed decisions. Beyond that, it's vital to benchmark, right? Figure out what good looks like for your specific business.
Yeah, your context matters. How many personalized touch points typically lead to a desired action for you?
And don't forget to track the micro wins along the way. Has an account engaged with an ad? Connected on LinkedIn? Downloaded a piece of content?
All those little signals.
Yeah. All these little engagements build the wider picture and inform your next play, your next move.
And tying back to our earlier point, consistent alignment with sales is paramount through all stages of optimization too. Those regular reviews prevent missed opportunities and ensure the right message gets delivered at the right time, in the right place, by the right person. Keeps everyone on the same page.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, the listener, as you look at your own marketing efforts? Ultimately, the big idea here seems to be that personalization in ABM isn't really about making everything hyper-personal for every single person on your list.
Precisely. You don't need exhaustively personal outreach for every single contact. That's usually impossible anyway. You just need to know when and where to elevate the message, to strategically invest the resource, and to adapt your approach based on signals.
It's about being precise and impactful.
Not just prolific.
Makes sense. So as you think about your own strategies and how you might apply these ABM plays, maybe consider not just how you personalize, but when you choose to deepen that connection. What's maybe one key trigger you could start monitoring more closely starting tomorrow to know precisely when to shift your focus for maximum impact?